Welcome to my live on YouTube.
You need to come to terms with the reality.
Sorry about that. Today is Wednesday, the 22nd of April, and it's just 1 minute past 6 p.m. UK time. I have a comment already. I'm going to read it from Safety Dance, House of Hope, Straight Talk Possibilities. I'm not sure what it means. Maybe you're introducing how you perceive my live streams about, and I appreciate this if that is the case. So, for those who don't know me, I'm a therapist and coach, and I come here on my free time to talk about mental health, therapy, psychology, human behavior, emotional intelligence, mindset, mindfulness, any of those things that we could all explore in more depth in order to elevate any aspect of our life. And so I'm going to be here for as long as needed, typically up till 8 o'clock if it's busy. If it's very quiet, if no one asks me anything, then I will just resume my day doing other stuff. But yes, I'm here for you guys. And so I'm going to get started the way I always start my live streams, by reading and commenting on some of my own posts. If you see me, that's probably because you either follow me or know my stuff or appreciate the same sort of stuff that I normally talk about, right? Thanks to the algorithm. So last time I had a little technical problem. I had two technical problems. One with my health, and now it's getting much, much better, as you can hear, but also with my mic. So if there's anyone here, could you tell me if you can hear me clear and well, please? That'd be very helpful. In the meantime, I'm going to go through my script and find out what sort of things maybe we can get started talking about. Where am I? Okay, let's get started with this one. Here's a post for you. People are rarely the problem. The behavior is. This is why, as long as you keep fighting the people, instead of addressing and understanding the behavior, you will never fix the problem. So we want to differentiate someone's potential as opposed to their programming, which is what we experience as their behavior. When we look at people, we tend to judge them, and we judge ourselves as well at the time based on what we see, what we perceive. But what we need to realize is that anyone's behavior is no more or less than patterns that we have created and developed and reinforced over time. And those patterns were originally born from adaptations. Whatever happened to us in childhood, we found ways to adjust, to adapt, to develop out of situations, and this has become our patterns of behavior. And that includes all the things that are deemed bad in society. Safety dance. Yes, that is the correct interpretation. Thank you. Thank you very much for your introduction. Okay. Next post. You are so hard on yourself that even when you are working on healing, you are still blaming yourself and hating yourself for not healing fast enough. Stop this. You're going the right direction. Healing is a journey, and your best is good enough. And so this is again a conversation that I often have with people. People work at themselves and they're getting better, but they're holding themselves back because they're hating the fact that they're not healing quick enough, fast enough. And that is creating stress, shame, pressure, and holding everything back. If you can focus on the progress instead of on the outcome, now you would heal much, much better, easier, faster. Next post. The right person at the wrong time is still the wrong person. Sometimes we meet amazing people in our life, but we can't help and ruin it because we were not ready for it. And the good news is that there are plenty of great people out there. And the more you keep on working on yourself, the more you will give yourself a chance to be ready for them then. And so we have to realize that sometimes we do meet amazing people that are perfect for us, but we are not just ready. We are just not ready. And so we're going to kind of sabotage the situation. But it's part of life and what we have to go through to learn about ourselves and how to address some of the baggage. The good news, however, is that there are still plenty of good people out there waiting for us for when we are ready for them. Next post. Next post. Some of us are loud because we have learned that being loud made us heard. Some of us are quiet because we have learned that being quiet kept us safe. Whatever pattern of behavior we display, that we call personality, is always the result of some adjustment and adaptation to events that we have experienced during childhood. So that was what I was talking about just before in regards to patterns of behavior and being able to really remind ourselves that what we see of others is just a program. And it doesn't mean that they are like that, it's going to be like that forever, and that they are bad people. There's no such thing as bad people. There are bad actions, there are bad words, there are bad inactions. Everything is contextual. Everything depends on configuration, context, and also a moment, because everything changes. And so, if you're going to judge and label someone for being bad because they've done or said something that hurt our feelings, now we're not going to give them give ourselves a chance to see the potential and maybe realize that maybe they had a bad day, maybe they have some trauma, maybe this or that is kind of thing to do with us. Maybe we can still find a way to communicate and connect and understand them if we can. And it's the same thing with us. We tend to judge ourselves all the time and be very harsh on ourselves. And we don't realize that the things that we do, the things that we say, the things that we feel are no more or less than habits, or programs, because of whatever happened to us in childhood. And so we can always learn how to basically upgrade that program. That's what healing and growth and self-awareness is all about. It's about realizing that we are not what we are. We are what we are at this point in time, based on whatever happened to us, but we have the power to change and upgrade anything about our life at any given time. I'm going to carry on reading on my post, but just to remind you guys, if there's anyone that is new watching, I'm here to take questions. This is what I thrive on. So if you have anything you'd like to discuss about your life, any ways I can help you, I'm a therapist and coach. This is what I do. I'm a mental health professional, and I come here during my free time to give some advice to anyone who needs it. Okay. So in the meantime, let's carry on with my post. Life is not exhausting. Surviving is exhausting. Trying to live a life that you are not meant to live is exhausting. Living in a society that is designed to divide and exploit us is exhausting. But living in and of itself is not exhausting. So I want to realize that if we're suffering, it's not because of life, it's because there's something wrong about it. And again, my aim here is to try to empower people and remind them that we can always change whatever is causing distress, discomfort, and unhappiness in our lives, as opposed to believing that it's life itself. When we suffer from depression, if nothing good has ever happened in our life, this is what we believe. It's not our fault, this is what we believe. But it's just a belief. It doesn't have to be something that we keep believing for the rest of our life. Whatever we believe becomes our reality. Nabu, Didi is the Asian dad we all need. Why Asian? I don't mind this, I appreciate that. Probably you come from a good place, but I think it's better to say that I'm just maybe someone that people need rather than Asian or that. What do you mean, Nabu? I'm sure you come from a good place. I'm going to give you the benefit of doubt, but it's important to not stereotype people, I hope. Are you saying this because you're Asian and you want to see someone that you can relate to? If that's the case, I understand. Okay, next post goes like this. Most people are sending subconscious signals in conversation that they seek approval from others all the time. Now, if you can be aware of this and be kind to people whilst genuinely not seeking validation from them, this is how you become magnetically attractive to others. Because genuine and fearless kindness is magic. If you can really demonstrate kindness out of good heart with no expectations, nothing that you want in return from your kindness, and if you can clearly demonstrate that you don't seek external validation, this is how people find some people impossibly attractive and amazing and special, because this is such a rare feat to display in society. Next post, and this is something that we can all do with, and I certainly have experienced it myself in the last week, and it goes like this. Today I had a mental health day. I have restored some energy. I really needed this. I'm grateful that I could do this, and tomorrow is just another day. Tell yourself this. If you feel overwhelmed and exhausted, if you feel guilty for not having been productive, and you feel terrible about yourself because of it. So very often, if we're not productive, if we're not functioning, if we're not doing the things that we have planned to do, we're going to feel bad about ourselves. But sometimes it's just the way it is. And so for me, it was not a mental health day. It was more the physical health, which I was overwhelmed. I had some sort of flu. Maybe I had COVID. I don't know. It looked like COVID again. So I was dizzy. I had some fever. I couldn't breathe. I had a chesty cough. I had some cramps, all sort of things like that. And then the moment I realized this, I knew that since I've been dealing with those things before, I had to fully invest and commit into healing. Instead of thinking, I should be doing this, I should be doing that, I don't want to cancel my class, or instead I thought to myself, I've got to prioritize. This is my task, my mission. I have to do this. Because if we don't do this, we're actually going to take longer to heal. And so I'm talking about both physiological health, but also mental and emotional health. It's very important to realize that as long as we are creating shame and pressure and tension in ourselves, we are holding ourselves back from getting better at any level. And so I have committed myself to chill, to relax, to lie down, to open the window, to do meditation, and then when I could, to go out, even if it was just to go around the block one time, sit down, face a bit of sun, do whatever I could without, whilst listening to my body, so that it got the signal that I wanted to stay active, I wanted to heal quicker, but I'm coming from a place of love. I'm not saying I hate my life, I hate myself, I hate the illness, I want to get better. Instead, I was like, I love myself, I understand that it happens, and it's okay. And I know that it takes time, and I'm going to take that time because I can, because I deserve it. And just like that, it's been a week. Normally, it would take me 3 weeks to recover from any type of chest infection. But now that I do that, that I know that, I don't know to which extent it would have affected it, but I believe that it has really helped me heal in 1 week instead of 3 weeks. So I still have a little bit of coughing, as you can hear, but I cannot really function. I don't have the fever. I can think straight. I don't feel dizzy anymore. I'm not blowing blood from my nose anymore. So it's a huge, huge progress. And so all of this to say, if you are feeling down, either physically or mentally and emotionally, be kind to yourself and tell yourself, I'm not wasting time. I'm not a loser. I'm not. I shouldn't feel bad about myself because I'm not doing what I wanted to do. Instead, focus on doing what is good for you. I'm going to chill. I'm going to relax. I'm going to choose to do nothing and enjoy this because I need to recover. Um, Actively invest into your recovery so that you're happy about it instead of feeling bad because you're wasting some time. I hope it makes sense. Let me read the comments now. There's some I can see. Kay Stevens, hi Didi, so glad you are feeling better. Thank you so much, Kay. Dawn Retracte, how to honey. Hi, Dawn. Hi Didi. Dawn, physical and mental health is very important. Yes, yes, of course. I mean, it's everything. Health means that we are able to feel good and function. And so if we can't feel good or function mentally, emotionally, and physically, then we are overwhelmed and we're in a state of survival. We need to recover. So when it happens, this has to be our priority. If we're in a state of survival, we cannot grow. We cannot do anything. We are surviving. And very often I talk about this, we have two states. We can either be in a state of growth or a state of survival. That's it. And as long as we are surviving, we cannot grow. As long as we are surviving, we are not living. We are surviving. We are existing. So when it happens, we want to raise that awareness. A lot of people, they are in a state of survival. They want to grow, and it's not going to happen because the priority for our whole system is to just make it. K, can you elaborate on feeling guilty about not doing enough? The should word. Can you elaborate on upgrading and changing all nasty opinions of negative people? So we have two different things here. Let's talk about the first part. You say, can you elaborate on feeling guilty about not doing enough? So this is something that we all have been conditioned to think about ourselves. I need to be productive. I need to do well. I need to always perform at my best. I need to impress others. I need to be successful. Those are all deeply ingrained beliefs that we have inherited from society, culture, education. But uh, I believe that you have experienced this as well, haven't you? If not, let me know. Maybe you are one of the very exceptionally rare exceptions of people who don't experience that. But we all feel the need to be productive, to do something, to have something to show for, to prove, to demonstrate, to be proud of, instead of being present and happy and content just for being here as we are, without having to do nothing else. And then you say, can you elaborate on upgrading and changing old nasty opinions of negative people? We cannot change other people's opinions. We can only change our opinions of ourselves and our opinions of others. Right? We cannot change others. We have no power of others. I mean, there are exceptions. Some people can force others to change. So if I imprison someone, if I torture them, if I brainwash them, we can force someone to change. But this is not a positive transformation. That will come with trauma, with shame, with restrictions, with a lot of problems. And this is pretty much the education system in most places in the world. It's all about punishment, pressure. You must be normal and fit in and be productive in society, those sort of things. Um, but, but other than through force, we cannot change anyone. So we don't want to go with force anyway. We are not dictators. We are human beings, and we have friends and colleagues and neighbors, and we want to treat them in normal ways. We want to basically learn how to accept people for who they are, as they are, and we can share what we prefer. And if it works, it's fine. If it doesn't work, it's okay. We must respect the fact that we're all different. We can't change other people's opinion. We can tell them, this is my opinion. If you share the same opinion, we can be friends. If we don't, we can stop talking about it and we can still be friends. But if you really want to keep on talking about this, even though we don't share the same opinion, then maybe it's going to be very difficult for us to be friends. Um, is that what you meant? Okay, or did you mean something else by upgrading all nasty opinions of negative people? We cannot change people. What we want to do is to change ourselves or ways with people so that we don't expect others to behave in any ways. Want to realize that it's a big world out there. Hang out with the right people, and some people give them a chance, but if it doesn't work after a few times, accept that they're different and it's okay. But there are other people who are more aligned with the sort of energies that you are, that you want, that you are about. And then this is what life is about: is finding your tribe, finding your people, instead of trying to change the people that you were born with. More often than not, it's never going to happen. Verona Smith, we have no right to judge. I agree. Uh, no one should judge. Judging is born from ego. We judge because we need to have an understanding of the world. If I can judge, it means that there is better and there is lesser. And so that means that I have a system that tells me what do I do, what do I say in order to belong to the better people. And judging is essentially highlighting all the lesser people to remind myself that I am one of the better ones. So it's coming from fear, the fear of not having an understanding or control of the universe and life. Um, and because we've been conditioned to do this, we do this with others and with ourselves all the time. We judge ourselves all the time instead of understanding. One of my motto is replace judging with understanding. And by judging, I don't mean assessing. A lot of people get this wrong. It's not about determining the quality of something within a context. Judging is to label it good or bad. It is within that reference, that definition that I'm saying judging. Okay, so true, Werner. Dawn, yep, as I always like, but I needed to do more. I'm not doing enough, even though I had X at home who would go out and hardly do anything to support me. It drained me. Okay, so have you changed that, or are you still doing this? A lot of us, we believe that about ourselves because this is also the role that we've been given in our childhood. It may have not been implicit, but many of us, we believe that we are the ones who are caring for everyone else. I did a post about it, but I haven't read yet. I don't know where it is. Something about the carer. Yeah, no, I lost it. It will come back if whenever. So yeah, let's carry on. Terms. Werner Smith, evaluate. Yes, yes. Evaluating something is different than judging. Evaluating is based on a context. Is this thing good or bad in regards to what I'm expecting it to do for me within that context? Then that's normal, it's a good thing to do. Judging is different. Judging is something that we do to, at a subconscious level, to bigger ourselves up. Whenever someone judges others, it's first because they're judging themselves, by projecting their own fear and shame. Very often, when we judge others, it's because we have a lot of shame about ourselves, things that we've been taught are bad, we shouldn't be having, and because we have been repressing those emotions, because shame is a horrible thing, we don't want to feel shame. And so our mind is going to basically repress those emotions. And now, as soon as we see something in others that are going to remind us of those suppressed emotions that we have inside of us, now we're going to go at them because it's easier to face those problems when it's projected on others than to face our own wounds, unhealed wounds. And so typically, the more judgmental people are, the more shame, the more repressed emotions, the more unhealed wounds they carry. And this is why it's so important to learn about self-awareness, not only to address ourselves, our mental health, to tap into our potential, but also to understand others and to understand the dynamics of society. This is how we change the world and we make it a better place, by understanding that we are all limited by the fact that we don't know any of those things. So we are just on a momentum and we don't realize that we could change our perception of reality and how we treat others, how we interact with one another. But it's got to start with understanding ourselves. Genji, hi Didi, how are you today? I'm much, much better. As you can hear, so I was talking about how I've been unwell the last week. Since I think you saw me on Wednesday, I started to be unwell, but I was still optimistic. But on Friday, I collapsed, and it was really difficult for me to even go through the live. But I did it with my consistent, repetitive blowing blood out of my nose. But I'm good now. I still have a little bit of cough, but I've been really looking after myself every single day up till now. And so yeah, it was a project. I did what was very focused and precise. The healing project. Thank you for asking, Genji. How about you? Okay, some churches are so harmful to vulnerable people. I saw this with my adopted mother. It preyed on her fears we could have discussed and corrected. It's true that a lot of communities and churches do this. Absolutely. People don't realize that a lot of communities and churches are actually cult. As in, they know how to manipulate people. They know that people have some needs, and they know that they can actually get them to believe anything and to do anything because people need to belong to a tribe. People need to believe in something. And so, if some people come as a group and tell you this is the truth, we're here, we're going to look after you together, we're going to be saved or whatever nonsense like that, then when people are vulnerable, it's extremely easy to be seduced by cults. Uh, and there are plenty of them. You can see in America, so many of them in the open, and it's absurd because it's so huge there. You have all of those super evangelical churches that cost zillions, and people give all of their money to those people, and it's just ridiculous. But it's really, really what they believe. They don't know anything better, and yeah, it's a sad state of affair. People are using religion to manipulate people's wounds, fears, and vulnerability. Nabu, I have a potential partner who is avoidant. He doesn't express how he feels, but it seems like he likes me using subtle hints online. I think he has difficulty expressing himself. What should I do? So again, let me try to read again. Let me try to understand. I have a potential partner who is avoidant. Okay, he doesn't express how he feels, but it seems like he likes me using subtle hints online. I think he has difficulty expressing himself. What should I do? It depends. It all depends on how you feel about it. Do you feel that you have the energy, the courage, the will to communicate, to learn how to communicate with them? Because it could be that someone has some trauma, someone is maybe on the spectrum of autism and find it difficult to communicate. So if that's that, then maybe you can learn how to communicate with them. But you want to find out also, do you have a history of being with difficult people, or is it the first time? What I'd say is that we like to go into a relationship and to be prepared. The way that I read your question is, this is happening, it's a bit weird, what should I do? Very simple. Listen to your gut. That's it. Every moment, listen to your intuition and do what it tells you to do. And so, if it tells you, give him a try, oh, yeah, it's a he. Give him a try, then do give him a try. But if you feel, I don't know, oh, it's a bit fishy, it's reminding me something subconsciously that feels wrong. And so, if that's the case, don't. It's very simple. But remember that your relationships are adventures. You never know what's going to happen. So it's not like, should I gamble all of my effort for something that may not work or not? This is the great question that people ask. And the answer is, don't think about it like that. It may work, it may not work, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you do whatever feels is right for you to do in that moment. That will lead you to something else. And eventually you will see something unfolding and you find out at some point whether or not it was a good idea. And the truth is that it was always a good idea. If you don't have any expectations of outcomes, everything is a good idea because you are learning from every experience, right? And so if someone is sending some weird signals and you're not sure, give them a chance. If you feel like it, if you feel safe, give him a chance and see what happens. It's very simple. And you may realize, that guy maybe, again, he's on the spectrum of autism, he doesn't know how to express himself, and so it's okay. I'm going to learn how to understand that condition better so that I can maybe find a way to connect with them. Or if it doesn't work and you realize that person is a narcissist, or that person is so damaged, they have borderline personality disorder, so that is going to be a problem, then it's okay as well. Again, each moment you ask yourself that question each moment. What is my intuition telling me right now, right here? What should I do in that moment? And so you may think, I'm going to still give him a chance. Or maybe, no. Or maybe, you know what, I shouldn't have done that because this didn't work out. But it's okay. You've learned. You had to do this in order to know. And so basically, go with the flow, listen to your intuition, pay attention to everything, and ask yourself that question every moment. What should I do next? Because at this point in time, I don't know. If I saw the person, or if that person was here talking to me, we could have a conversation. But at this point in time, I haven't got it. It could be anything at all. Does it make sense? Does it help, Nabu? Genji Benji, I'm so sorry you became so ill. Don't be sorry. I have healed. So this is the thing. We can either be sorry that I was sick, or we can celebrate the fact that I have healed. And so we want to learn how to be more positive and look at the better side of things. Because it's the same thing. At some point I was ill. At some point I have healed. At some point I will be ill again. At some point I will heal again. At some point I will die. Things always happen. What matters is which angle we're looking at it from. So we tend to project. So if you are saying this, that means that maybe you are in a place that is a little bit depressed and sad. So that would explain that. But you can switch it around and think, you know what? I was ill and it sucked, but now I'm better. And that's why Now it's so much interesting to focus on rather than when I was ill, right? Don't be sorry. We all are going to be ill. We're all going to have downs. We're all going to go through pain and disappointment all of our life. It's okay. What matters is not that those things are happening. What matters is how we're going to deal with the situations. Does it help, Genji? But I appreciate your kind words. I know it's coming from a good place. I hope you got proper care. I'm glad you're feeling better. Thank you. Thank you. It's just that I'm sorry that you're feeling better. Don't be sorry about that. Look at me. I'm smiling. I'm happy. Focus on that. Thank you. Anyway, Genji. Down. Vulnerable people do tend to get taken for granted, sadly. It's not about being taken for granted. They're being targeted by people who need to target vulnerable people. And so for some people, this is the dynamic in life. They need to find people to walk over. They need to find people they can manipulate and take advantage of. And so when people are vulnerable, they are attracting those people. But it's not that everyone look down on vulnerable people. Some people are kind to vulnerable people. Some people protect them. Some people heal them, help them. A lot of us do that. When you are vulnerable, it doesn't mean that the whole world look down on you. It only means that some people, the ones who are unkind, will spot you and find you and try to exploit you. But it also means that some other people will see you. You know, it's not all dark. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to be positive today for everyone. Vulnerable people do tend to get taken for granted, so they only they are only taken for granted by narcissists, by sociopath, by people who have no empathy, by people like that. But it's only because of those people. It's not because they are vulnerable. We all are vulnerable at times. All of us, we're going to be sick. We're going to need some help at some point in some capacity. That's life. That's why society exists, because we're all here to help out each other, right? So we all need help. We're all vulnerable at times. But there are some people who are good and some people who are hurt. And so those who are hurt are those who will look down and take advantage on vulnerable people. And that's why if we are strong, if we're in a good place, if we have heard, we want to do our best to support the vulnerable ones. This is what the quality of a society is measured on, the ability to protect and help and support those who need the most help. Oh, for Brianna, I came to the right place. Thank you, Brianna. Yes, Dawn from Brianna. Nabu, he gave me his email and I told him through email that it's fine just to express how he feels, even if he feels ashamed for not being able to fully express his feelings clearly in words. Okay, maybe he's got some learning difficulties. Um, it can be all sort of things, so it's all good, right? Just remember that, you know, whatever you do with people, you're not gambling and investing in a project. You are going through a lesson together with someone, and both of you can take something out of this, no matter what happens, no matter what the outcome is. The northern chap. I think your words will already have had a big impact in people's isolated lives around the world. Well done. Thank you for appreciating. Donna Smith. I also hope you heal completely. Thank you. I'm on demand. It's all good. What matters when we heal is the contrast that we're getting better. Because here's the irony: we take everything for granted. We forget things all the time. And so if I'm never sick, I don't care about not being sick. I'm not aware of that. It is because I have been ill, or I remember that I was ill before, but now I'm grateful that I'm healed. Right? And so the best part of life, as far as the healing process is concerned, is not being healed, is getting better. Because now we can feel that we're going in the better direction. The truth of the matter is that the moment we're fully healed, we forget about it and we take it for granted again, and we do all the stupid things that get us to be to get into trouble in the first place. So that was just to show you a different perspective. Um, I hope it makes sense. But thank you, Vanna Smith, for the kind words, nevertheless. Kevin, hi Didi. Right, yes, Kevin, how about you? Nabu, but sadly no response from him yet. Okay, so so you're expecting something from that person, you care about that person. You know what? Take it with a pinch of salt. It's a big world out there. If you think that someone is more important than others, then there's already an imbalance. You should go in a relationship with a playfulness in mind. Open-minded, it's an exploration. You're an adventurer. Now, if you feel that, that person is special, I want them to get back to me, it tells me that you have some baggage of your own. Do you want to tell me more about you and your relationship or your mental health state? When you say, sadly, no response from him yet, it tells me that you are already feeling down, even though there's no relationship yet. You're expecting something from someone that you don't even know yet, and you're feeling down already because of that. Do you want to tell me more about yourself, Nabu? Or about this, about your relationships in general? Okay, Stevens. All I'm trying to say is that there are different ways to approach relationship, and the way we do reflect a lot about ourselves. And so instead of addressing what is he doing, what is he thinking, why is he not doing this, I would address why are you feeling like that, why are you thinking about it, what is affecting you so much. Okay, I believe that to Didi about the church. Yeah. Faith in your gut instinct is so important, but so important. Church felt like a big production. Yes, very often, sadly, it's the power thing. Some people with no empathy will understand how to control and manipulate others, and they will use religion very often. But not always just that. Also, any dynamic of power. People who are, let's say, at the top of the company, who have power, they can do anything. So yeah. Done. Yep, I have had it done to me. Okay. Okay, yes, I had a life-threatening thing happen to me, and if I listened to one of the doctors, I wouldn't be here. I chose to look at the better, kind doctor's opinion. The better side is one with the heart. Yeah, yeah, agree. Genji, that's a very pleasant viewpoint of suffering. I've always been very pessimistic, but with my added internal rage at the world and depression, it's hard for me to see things so clearly. Yes, it's true. It's true. Everything you say is true. It's true that if you have a propensity to be pessimistic, if you have an internal rage at the world, if you have depression, it's going to be hard for you to see anything properly. It is absolutely true. And so what you want to do is to address this. You want to address the internal rage at the world. You want to address the depression. You want to address the pessimism. Those are not normal. Those are not you. Those are not your trait. Those are not your personality. Those are just habits that you have developed over time because of XYZ and that you have reinforced over time. There are no more or less than habits. You can change this, right? But it's true. I agree with you. As long as you're going to see yourself as someone that is pessimistic, and as long as you keep suffering from depression, and of course, it's not your fault, but as long as you have that rage against the world, that separation, the need to protect yourself against it, which is your symptom of BPD, it will be hard. Absolutely. Absolutely. And so, you know what? Accept it. Accept because I'm like that. This is what I experience. It's okay. I'm not trying to go against my nature. I'm not going to go against what I believe. I'm not going to go against my program based on whatever happened to me. I'm accepting it. This is what I'm feeling about in that moment because of everything that happened to me. However, I can learn how to gradually, baby step by baby step, one little moment at a time, I can learn how to change a little bit, more and more so. And that is kinder, that is easier, that is better, right? Do you understand what I'm saying, Ketchy? Stop being unkind to yourself when you say, I want to be happy, but I can't. Oh, it's hard for me because I'm so pessimistic. Of course. You shouldn't be angry at yourself because you are suffering from that already. Right? But even in that moment, you're still being unkind to yourself. Remember when I always tell people, be kind to yourself. You're doing the opposite. And again, it's not your fault. It's never anyone's fault. But I want you to realize this. You don't have to do this. Accept that you are your program. You are the wounds, unhealed wounds. You have all of those things to address, and it's not your fault. Accept yourself. I suffer. I have a lot of baggage. I have a lot of filters that get me to see the world under a very dark perspective. But I can change. However, I'm going to accept who I am in the meantime. You can't hate yourself into healing. Thank you for your heart. Dawn, that's it, a better word, targeted. Nos Viatel, what to do with double binding? What is double binding? I've heard about it. I think it means different things. Double binding. It's a psychological and communication dilemma where a person perceives conflicting messages, ensuring that no matter which option they choose, they cannot win. It is a paradox where doing the right thing is impossible because both compliance and non-compliance result in negative consequences. Okay, I have an answer for you. So I'm going to keep reading that to give everyone a context. Key usage examples. Family, parental. A parent tells a child to always speak up, but then when the child does, they're punished for being rude. Another example, professional. A manager tells an employee to be creative, but penalizes any new ideas that they come across that fail, and so on and so forth. So this is double banding. So thank you for reminding me of the definition. So it's very simple. You want to realize that everything is contextual. And so whether something is right or wrong depends on the context, depends on the perspective. And so let's take the example of the employee telling you to be creative, and if you fail, it's wrong. You want to take a decision based on what matters to you, the context that matters to you, and in this moment. And so if a manager tells you be creative, then you know that the context is from the manager's perspective. So if your priority is to be yourself, do whatever feels right for you. You don't care about them. But if you care about your job and you want your manager to like what you do, then take this into consideration before you take your choice. That's it. And then realize that here they missed one thing. Someone can be creative in that example, but then fail and be told off. But those are two different moments. In the moment, you are taking an action that is aligned with what you believe. The next moment, something else happens. And so realize that if that happens, we are trying to control too many things. Instead, we should just accept in that moment what feels right for me. And then accept the next moment is going to be something else. And also bear in mind the context, the narrative, the perspective that will get you to make that choice. Does it make sense? Noah's Nos Viatel? In reality, if you are present and if you listen to your intuition, you're always taking the right decision, no matter what happens. Because if you do something and other people don't like it afterward, it's a whole different situation afterward. We cannot control afterward. We can only have a power of influence over now, this moment. Whatever happens is never in our control. Control is an illusion. Sometimes things go our way. We're lucky and it's good, and we must appreciate and take note because we have a system that allows us to get those things happening more often than not. But there will always be an element of unpredictability. We never know for sure. Nothing is ever guaranteed. And so we must also accept that whatever decision we take is only based on how we feel in the moment. And whatever happened after, it was never our business. We want to let go of the illusion that we can take a decision that will give us exactly that. This is not something that is possible. We can have a system that can give us more mathematical chances to get it right, but there will always still be some chances that it doesn't go right, or that it may go totally different than what we expected from, because there are just too many parameters in the universe at any given time that influences everything for us to ever know anything about the future. Does it make sense? Nos Viatel? Nia Music. Hi, Brianna. One person can murder a view of the whole world, but we have to stay strong and protect our peace and not become like them. They are suffering. I understand where you're coming from. Yes. People who are suffering, who are hurt, will emanate a certain sort of energy, and we can, and it's not really a choice, but we can either become like them, or we can actually react differently. We can suffer from them, or we can get away from them, protect ourselves from them. We must do our best to not become them. I think that's what you mean, and I would agree with that. Dawn, exactly, if we all try to help and support each other, the world will be a better place. Yes, it's true. It's true. So that's I'm not sure what where that conversation originated from, but yes. Just 1 second, please. Yes, I do believe that the cause of all problems in this world is a lack of empathy. If we could be reminded that we are all human beings and we're all creatures, living sentient beings that belong to the same ecosystem, then we would be working together with nature, with the animals, with the trees, with the people, as opposed to believing in division. We are better than them. We must vanquish them. We must hold all of their goods, greed, power, all of these things. And so again, the root of all evil is a lack of empathy. The only reason why some people are able to go at war and destroy whole people and take all of their stuff and enslave them and do horrible stuff to them is because they don't see them as their equal. They don't see them as humans. That's it. That's the only reason. That's why self-awareness and mental health is so important. If we could create a society that would locate those who lack of empathy, now we can actually educate them and make sure that they don't end up in power. If you don't have empathy, you can't be in power, because in power means being in charge of a lot of other people. But if you can't relate to people, you shouldn't be in charge of people. If you don't know what you're dealing with, if you can't feel like a human being, you can't be at the top of the food chain, right? Nabu, thank you for your wise word, Didi. Thank you, Nabu. Your Asian uncle, or something like that. Brianna, thank you, Brianna. Dawn, I do find some men find it difficult to talk about feelings. Is it true? It's true. I mean, a lot of people, but it's true that in a patriarchal society, which is the society that we live in, men have been typically conditioned, programmed, told to repress their feelings. Feeling is bad, emotional. Everything that is emotional is for women, and it's not true. We all feel anger is an emotion, frustration is an emotion. So there you go. But somehow it has become a woman thing, and it's negative. And so this is again because of the patriarchy. The patriarchy wants to condition men to be easy to manipulate, to control. So repress your emotions. You have to be strong. You have to be patriotic. You have to do this and do that. You have to be masculine, whatever. And they have so much shame and repressed emotions and so much confusion that yeah, they are super easy to manipulate. If you look at the bigger picture, this is why society is designed the way it is, because it is exploitative by nature. So it needs to keep people in a certain state of mind, in a certain state of emotions and physical state as well, that they're overwhelmed so that they can easily be controlled. And so, yes, we want to learn how to teach people, including men, how to have a better relationship with their body, as in with their feelings, their emotions, their body sensations, so that they can actually reconnect with themselves and then be better human beings with others and with themselves as well. Brianna, I'm in the same boat as Nabu. The man I fell in love with is a diagnosed sociopath. I have a history of trauma. Okay. So the problem is that it's not that that person has some sociopathic tendencies or diagnosis. Um, is the fact that you know that you have history of trauma and you are still suffering from the trauma response, which is that you seek someone like that. Right? There are a lot of people in the world. There are people who are easy to live with, people who are difficult to live with, all sorts. We all have different baggage, different wounds, different conditions, and we attract in our lives the people who fit the narrative that we have of ourselves. And so if you have a history of trauma, it means that in childhood, maybe, or maybe in adulthood, but you have suffered from some people who are close to you. So over time, this has changed the structure of your brain. If it happened in childhood, that has impacted how you see yourself. But even in adulthood, if you live at the hand of a narcissist over a long period of time, they are constantly putting you down, making you feel terrible, making you doubt yourself, belittling you, that will have a consequence over the structure of your brain and how you feel about yourself. You will start to feel and believe about yourself. This is who I am. That's all that I deserve. I have no power, and I deserve for people to be horrible to me. If it happened in childhood, that's all that you know. So that's what feels familiar to you. And so because of that, now you will keep not only allowing, but also inviting, attracting people like that in your life. And so the problem is not that there are sociopaths in the world. The problem is that you still somehow feel the need to have them in your life. And again, because you're coming from a traumatic uh, kind of dynamic, what it means is that you will keep suffering from them. And so the solution to this is to address how you see yourself, address your trauma, address your subconscious belief about yourself. This is what you want to address. And once you've done that, you will no longer feel attracted to difficult people anymore. People who don't have trauma, people who don't have history, people who don't have any conditions, people who don't have any kind of need to be with people like that, if they see someone like that, they're going to say, ah, not today, Satan. Red flag, go away. Just like that. But for some of us, it's not possible. You're going to like, someone that reminds me of mom or dad. Someone who reminds me of my ex. Maybe I can try to save them, to change them. Something like that. Genji, I feel that I need to work more on gratitude. I know we worked on that in the past, but it feels that I don't want help. But when I get it, it isn't enough. It isn't enough because you're not able to appreciate the goodness of what you have already. So here's the thing: gratitude is about highlighting anything in your life and looking at it from the perspective that makes you feel a little bit better about yourself. So think about it as a coin. I think I have a coin somewhere in my pocket. I want to find the coin. So that's a 2p coin. It's a very humble coin. Each coin has a different side. There's one side, if you look at it, it makes you feel a bit better. The other side, if you look at it from my perspective, it makes you feel a bit worse about it. It's a tiny little bit. For sometimes it's a big difference, but more often than not, it's just a tiny difference. And it's for you to look at the right side. However, you're not happy about that because at this moment, it's only a 2p coin. It's not a gold coin, and both sides sucks. And so because of that, you're thinking, oh, there's nothing for me to be grateful about because both sides are not as good, are not very good. But really, gratitude is about realizing that even though there's not much difference between this and that, there's still a little bit of difference. And it is that little bit of difference that matters. We suffer from inability to practice gratitude because both options are not enough from our expectations. So what we want to do is to learn how to lower our expectations and appreciate that life is a journey. And so it's about each little baby steps. And if you can appreciate a little bit of difference, a little bit of better in that moment, and if you can do it again the next moment, and the next, and the next, and next, eventually, now the difference between better and worse will become bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's how we flex the muscles of gratitude over time. But at the start, it feels like both options, they're both whatever. And it's precisely what we need to do. We need to find out, okay, if I can't find which one is better, which one is worse, ask yourself, which one is worse, which one is less worse. Maybe that's easier for you to get your head around this. And then focus on the less worse and think, you know what, this sucks. But I still like it better than the other option because it sucks a little bit less than the other suck, right? So maybe try this and see what happens. You say it yourself, but it feels that I don't want help, but when I get it, it isn't enough because it's not enough. If you expect something specific at a specific time, nothing will ever be enough. What matters is the direction, the momentum, the progression, right? And again, progression happens with little baby steps, tiny little ones. Okay, Genji, Brianna, but I have to. But again, if you want to give me something specific, we can talk about a specific example for you. Brianna, but I have to stay positive. He's an emotional vampire and wants to drain my light. So don't stay with that people. Why do you stay with that person? Don't stay with them. If you know that they're an emotional vampire and that they drain your light, why are you choosing to be with them? Ask yourself this. I can answer this for you, and maybe you know as well why. But I want you to raise that question consciously in your mind every day. You wake up, why do I want to be with someone like that? Why do I want to expect something from a type of people that I know will never give me what I need from them? Ask yourself this, and that will help you maybe at some point do some work on yourself or even address the situation and tell yourself, you know what am I doing to myself? I keep shooting myself in the foot. I do it to myself. Don't some boys were told to man up, boys don't cry. Yes, so this is the patriarchy. This is what all boys have been told. Don't be a sissy, don't be a wussy, don't be a faggot. Be a man, be strong, be stoic. Never show your pain, never show your doubt, never show your plans. Keep everything secret. If you have a problem, don't show that you're vulnerable because otherwise they will take advantage of you, will take over. You have to always be strong, never cry. And because of that, they repress the sadness, they repress the emotions, and that creates a lot of problems. They repress also their own preferences. So let's say if someone has let's say if someone is born gay, but they've been taught by their church, gay is bad. You're going to be living in hell. You should be ashamed. Every gay people should be ashamed. Now they're going to repress this, um, but because they're still gay, they will suffer from a lot of problems. They will either do it secretly or that a lot of people don't realize how so many people have been ruined by the community that they live in because of that shame and those emotional repression. It's not just that. I mean, someone could be a creative, an artist, and then they're being told to do something else. Whatever that it is, we want to really learn how to feel because our feelings and our emotions are there to tell us who we are, what we're about, what we should be doing, and how we should be living our lives. But if we repress this and replace it with shame, judgment, self righteousness, projections, scapegoating, then we create other problems in society and for ourselves. Um, and conversely, boys don't cry, but also girls stay quiet. Girls are good. They look pretty, they're kind, they're graceful, they're polite. They never express their anger. This is not ladylike. So similarly, girls are being told that they can never express their anger and frustration. They have to be all docile. They need to obey the patriarchy, uh, like Disney princesses. Your only option in life is to be a princess. You need to wait for your Prince Charming to come and save you on a white horse. That's it. You can't be a CEO of a company. You can't be a physicist or a scientist. You can't be a leader. You are in the kitchen and looking after the kids. Those sort of things. It's the same. This is the patriarchy. Or you have to be very pretty. You have to be a trophy wife to make your man proud. You know, there's this terrible toxic sentence that I've heard all my life. Behind each great man is a great woman. Fuck that. There should be great men and great women. It seems like the only place for women to be great is behind a great man by supporting them. It's just terrible. If it works for some, it's okay, but it shouldn't be something that we expect from everyone because we're all different. La Flamme message retracted. Dawn, especially the older generation. Yes, it's true. Genshi, if depression and rage isn't part of me, is my BPD a part of me? So you need to decide and understand what is you. What is you? Where do you start? Where do you end? So my answer is very simple. You are a vase, and whatever that is part of that vase can come and go. You can be a thought, You can be an emotion. You can be a state. You can be an action. You can be a title. You can be a judgment. You can be so many things. But you are just the vase. You are the potential. Whatever that you are depends on the context, depends on the position of the observer. So again, the example that I often give is that if my mom looks at me, to her, I'm the son. To my brother, I'm the brother. To my friend, I'm a friend. To a foe, I'm a foe. To a stranger, I'm a stranger. To my husband, I'm the husband. To my colleague, I'm a colleague. To my neighbors, I'm so many different things. When I think, if I believe that I am my thought, in that moment, I have become that thought. If I believe that I am that emotion, if I forget that I'm not feeling angry, if I think I am angry, in that moment, I am the anger, and so on and so forth. If you look at your past, I am my past. Am I my BPD? Am I my rage? It depends. Maybe in that moment, when you are rageful, you are the rage. Maybe when you think about your condition in that moment, you are the BPD. But what we want to really realize is that you are the potential to heal, to change, to upgrade everything and anything in your life. This is what you are. Okay? Does it make sense? Genji. And so is depression part of you? It's not that it's part of you. It's, again, remember what I just said. You are the vase. Go back on that video if you want. I lost the plot. But anyone who's watching, if you're new, remember that all of my live streams are to be found, if you want to replay them, the following day on my channel. So if you heard something interesting, you can always find the video sometime tomorrow. Kevin, it is good to hear you, Didi. Thank you, Kevin. Kevin, oh yes, the mic. So is it you who told me about this? So you can hear me well now, right? I think on Friday I was overwhelmed by my illness, and it made me clumsy. And what happened is that I took the mic too quickly from the box, and it didn't have the time to sync with the receiver, and so maybe that's why you couldn't hear me through the mic. Tamzo, wonderful perspective. Thank you, Tamzo. Genji, you can't hate yourself into healing. Yes, I absolutely love that. Thank you. It's going in my note to remind me you are 100% correct. Fantastic. Yes, remember this. You can't hate yourself into healing. We do that. The whole education system is based on that. Punishment and reward. Instead of doing this because it feels right and good to you and doing it at your own pace. Coming from a place of love and support instead. Dawn, BPD has triggers. Yes, absolutely. K. Stevens, yes, you can't hate yourself into healing. My grandma hated my grandfather. I suppose absence makes the heart grow fonder in some cases. Okay. La Flamme, I've been married for 6 months. Oops, just one sec, please. My watch is telling me that it's time for me to post my third TikTok post of the day.
Si tu visites un café à cochon, tu seras probablement...
Bear with me, please. I'm doing it now.
And doctor said...
Okay, so that should be all right. Wait. Okay, let's get back to where we were. So, La Flamme, I've been married for 6 months, and we've built an amazing life. I really love her as a person, but I think of leaving every single day, and I wish I was alone. Am I wrong? Should I leave? So it depends. Again, I don't know you. There's no ultimate right or wrong. It depends on many, many, many different things. What you want to do is to do some work on yourself and find out why there's such discrepancy between what you think is right and how you feel about yourself. But if it's really, really urgent, I would say, yeah. If you feel that you're not happy with someone, the first thing you want to do is to talk about it. Open yourself up. Sit down with that person. Talk to her. I don't know why, but I'm feeling like that. So maybe you can heal and work on it together. There's a lot of couples therapy, couples counseling things going on. So that could maybe help as well. Because again, in a relationship, is never just one person. Relationship are two or more people together. So it's about really understanding the dynamic of it. And so the first thing that I would address is communication. Sit down and find out. Talk. I love you. Everything was fine, but I don't know why I've got this. And if she cares about you, if she wants you to get better, she will listen to you. And she will tell you, you know what, I'm sorry that you feel like that. Let's do something about it. Let's see if you can find some help. Let's analyze whatever happened. Maybe there's some things that happened and you never talked about, both of you. So this was always in the background, and now it's too much, or whatever it may be. Yeah. I'd say don't do anything hasty just yet, not only for the other party, but also for yourself. Because you could have some conditions. It could be something about you that is actually affecting you, and it's got nothing to do with the relationship and her at all. Work on yourself and also sit down and talk with her and see what happens. I would suggest this to you. Brianna, the manager wants the employees to be creative within certain bounds. It requires clarification on how much initiative the employee can take. We may have a different definition of creativity. So there's that as well. Yeah, communication. But it's important to realize that there's no ultimate right or wrong. Everything is contextual. And so you can always tell them, in the moment, I've done what I felt was right based on what you told me. Now, the whole point of growth is to learn how to recalibrate, learn how to readjust. That's it. So you can speak to your manager and say, okay, I listened to what you said. I did what you told me to do. Now it's not working. Now, together, let's work on that. Let's understand what happened and how we can make it better in the future. This is what growth and development is about. It's about taking any opportunities to expand our understanding of everything, as opposed to judging it's a victory or it's a failure. If you have a growth mindset, you can never fail. Everything is a lesson. Genji, I've been more accepting of my baggage, but I also find myself accepting the darkness and feeling like I will drown for the rest of my life. So remember, in that moment, it is the part of you that believes that has taken over. It's not you. Again, you are many minds. So remember, I was talking about how you are the vase. In that vase, you have many different minds. So you have a mind that is positive and enthusiastic. You have a mind that is negative. You have a mind that is more objective. You have all sorts of different minds. And so it's not like, sometimes I'm like this, and some other time I'm like that. What's wrong with me? There's nothing wrong with you. It's just that in different moment, a different mind has taken over. That's it. So when you feel down, it is the disempowered part of yourself that has taken over. That part is the way it is. There's nothing wrong about that part. That part exists to protect you. They exist for a reason. And so accept that, I'm happy, I'm in that place again. Think about people who have dissociative identity disorder. We used to call it multiple personality disorder. And basically, there are people who have different personalities, and they have a different personality that comes at different time. And so we all do this actually, but not to their level, not to the point that it's debilitating and tampering with their experience of reality. However, we all have many minds. If you can understand that, you will feel better about yourself, Kenji. If you can remember this, because I'm sure we talked about it already. But it's okay, it takes time, it's a lot of information. I get it. But I want you to realize that you are many minds. You are not one Genji. There's the Genji of you that is happy. There's the Genji of you that is angry. There's the Genji of you that is scared. There's the Genji of you that is sad. There's the Genji of you that is helpless. There's the Genji of you that has hope. They're all there within you. And each moment, there's a different version of you that is taking over the mic. Remember the analogy that I use? Karaoke. It's a karaoke party in you. And the mic is what is going to be given to different part of your self, depending on what your MC decide is the best part to deal with that situation in that moment. So even now, when you say, I've been more accepting, however, I find it difficult to accept the darkness, and I'm feeling like I will drown for the rest of my life. This is the version of you that is negative, that has taken over. This is the version of you that is like, nothing is working, I'm terrible, I'm full of shame. It is that version of you that is speaking in that moment. But there are other moments where you are not going to feel and see that, because in that other moment, there will be another version of you that would have taken over the situation. Do you understand, Genji? Kevin, here and now, enjoy your teaching. Stay as well as possible. For me, yes, thank you. Yes, okay, thank you, Kevin. K. Stevens. Yes, there are many variables involving one human being behavior. The unknown is impossible to know. In the movie I mentioned, his wife said, I have no pity left for you. She meant empathy. Nos Viatel. So if someone wants you to be wrong, no matter what you do, protecting the right to be right is the only option. It's not protecting the right to be right. We want to understand that there's no right, there's no wrong. I think this is the conversation. This is where everyone gets a problem. It's to realize that there's no such thing as universal right or wrong. There's no such thing as universal truth. There's no such thing as universal reality. This does not exist. There's only a truth or a right or a wrong depending on the context, depending on the moment, depending on the perspective. Nothing is absolutely right or wrong, good or bad, true or false. Everything depends on the position of the person that is experiencing that thing, the position of the observer, right? But for some of us, it's hard to get our head around this. If we're on the spectrum of autism, if we have a sort of brain, we need to be categorically right. I need to understand. Then it's going to be very, very distressful. But there's no such thing as universal truth. There's only experiences that are different for every single human being, each moment on the whole planet, and not just human beings. Any perspective. And so now back to being practical. How can I make it useful? Well, realize that indeed, as you said, if someone wants you to be wrong for whatever reason, they will get you to be very wrong. And so it's for you to basically play it like a game of chess and understanding where they come from and try to kind of bypass the plans by overlooking it. As long as you keep within their narrative, they control you. If you can address a situation from a different narrative, they have no power over you. So how do we do this? It depends. That's when I will need you to give me a specific example so that I can use that example to illustrate what I'm trying to say. Nos Viatel. Dawn, so sorry to hear that, Brianna. I know how it feels. Okay. Cool, yeah, Beans said hi. Hello. Kay, one time my adopted brother blurted out of nowhere, quit being so hard on yourself, strong projection comment. Okay. Well, he was right. We are all too hard on ourselves, more often than not. Kevin, I'm keeping expectations low. Okay. Even better than that, have no expectations. Expectations are a trap. Accept that things are certain way. You know what you prefer anyway. Do your best for those things to hopefully go in the way you want them to go. But you don't have to have expectations. Things happen whether we expect them or not. If they're good, celebrate. If not, it's okay. Learn from it. Dawn, yes, COVID causes a lot of damage. Okay, gosh, I think I'm quite behind. Just bear with me. This is live. It's 14 minutes past 7. Nabu, I think we should have therapists in today's schools so kids don't grow up emotionally and mentally unstable. Yes, what we should be doing really is to change the whole structure of school and education and religion. This is what we should be doing. We should be teaching about using a different system to teach instead of utilizing punishment and rewards, which is the carrot on the stick. We should be teaching kids not to try to have some external motivations, but having some internal motivations. So I'm not trying to fit in. I'm not trying to please others. I'm not trying to be good for others to make them proud. I'm doing things because it feels good for me, because it's right to me, because it excites me. It's aligned with my capacities and my preferences. If you could do that, that would be a great thing to start with. And then the next thing is to teach empathy, teach emotional intelligence, teach kids how to feel, how to understand their emotions. It's okay to be angry as long as you don't attack someone and as long as you say sorry. You know. Learn the distinction between behavior and someone's potential. And then learning also about mindfulness, learning how to be present, and learning about growth mindset. If we can learn all those things in school now, the whole world is sorted. The next generations, no more wars, no more greed, no more separation. All people working together, because now we understand human psychology, we understand ourselves, we understand others, we understand our potential all together as a species, the human race. Dawn Woodland, I wish I'd known all these years ago, Didi. Okay, well, now you know. It's never too late or too soon to know anything, right? We can't change our past, but what we can do is to make the most of what we have now based on what we've learned from our past. The past was there to teach us something and also to give us a human experience. And since we're still alive, we can still change it. Genshi, I like the coin analogy. I understand what you are telling me. Fantastic. I need to adjust my point of view on appreciating little things, even if they still suck. Yes, it's about appreciating little things, finding simplicity and humility in life. Appreciate little things like kids do. You know, if you are sat down a park and you have a little ladybird who's flying on your head, it's magic for a kid. It's not a real thing. It's a miracle. It's amazing. It's fucking brilliant. Pardon my French. But this is it. It's about learning how to appreciate the littlest things. If you can appreciate the littlest things, now you're creating a skill. You're becoming better at appreciating the tiny little things. So what it means is when the bigger things are going to come, you can feel even better. This is how it works. But if you can't appreciate the little things, you won't get much. Whatever big things, it's worth nothing because you don't have the ability to appreciate the sense of it. Thank you for the heart. Dawn Woodland. When I was bullied, I was taught to ignore them. This isn't always the best solution. So everything is different. Of course, if you get bullied, ignoring bullies doesn't work, not at all. So I'm not sure how you are connecting this. I forgot about the original conversation. Ignoring something is not a solution for everything and everyone all the time. If you're a child, it doesn't work like that. If you're an adult, there was around it. That's different, right? And so I'm not sure which context you are referring to, Dawn. If you can remind me, we can have a discussion about this. There's no such thing as absolute. Everything is contextual, right? But I'm pretty much sure that I would have never implied this, Dawn. We can talk about this if you want. Summer. Yes, a lot of pressure to be pretty and quiet. Talking, of course, I'm behind. Talking about the patriarchy. Yeah. Genji, I feel like a vase fixed with Kintsugi. I am broken but still standing. Yes, Kintsugi. The art of elevating broken stuff into something more beautiful. Your scars are what makes you special. The most fascinating, interesting, beautiful thing about Kintsugi is that the gold that they use to repair the vase with makes it beautiful. It is the very scars that are beautiful. That it is the very scars that make them beautiful. And so you are utilizing an analogy that is fantastic. This is who you are. You are beautiful because of your scars. Because you are getting better. Because you are healing them. It's not the scars, the healing is the gold. So because of the healing of your scars, this is what makes you beautiful. So yes, great analogy. Kintsugi, all the way. Pumpkin Puff. Hi Didi, how are you feeling today? I'm feeling much better, as you can hear and see, hopefully. Thank you for asking. It took me a week. I was still unwell up till yesterday and the day before. I mean, the last couple of days I'm been much better. I think I really had Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I had 3 terrible days. And normally I would have 3 terrible weeks. So I've hit pretty quickly this time. Even though I still have a little bit of stuff. It will go. But thank you for asking. Dawn, you ever heard the saying, a bee can't teach a fly honey is better than poo? Don't waste your energy. Yes, but I don't think it's a nice quote because I think it can. I think that a bee can teach a fly poo because the difference is that we're not a bee or a fly. Remember, we are the vase, so we can be anything. We may be a poo fly, but we can become a bee. We can become a butterfly. We can become a bird. We can become anything. This is exactly what I'm trying to say. I understand where you're coming from. I understand there's a lot of old sentences like that, but a lot of them are actually not very nice because it implies that some people will never change. This is who they are. And I don't believe this. This is the opposite of everything that I believe. My whole job, my whole career is about teaching people that we can all change. Not all of us will, but we all can. So, and so maybe we may be a poor fly, but we can become a bee. Do you agree, Dawn? Do you understand where I'm coming from? Genji, yes, I understand what you're telling me. I do have the brain radio in my notes. I only struggle to remember. ADHD. The noise outside the is really making me. Okay, anyway, it's gone. Let's come back to where we were. I do have the brain radio in my notes. I only struggle to remember that when I'm stressed. Okay, let me read again. I should have put my plug, but it's starting to get hot, so I need to have my windows open. I do have the brain radio in my notes. I only struggle to remember that when I'm stressed. I forget that not all my thoughts are my actual thoughts. Okay? So again, remember, when you are stressed, it's not that you struggle to remember that. When you are stressed, you cannot remember. Because in that moment, you are back into that version of self that is reactive. But it's okay, because the next moment you can breathe, you can go for a walk, you can do something that can get you to come back to a place of clarity. Again, accept yourself. Accept that sometimes you will not be able to understand, to feel, to remember. It's okay. Because the next moment you can always, the next. And if not the next moment. Red Sun Orion, you are such a beautiful mind. I'm thankful for your videos. Thank you so much, Red Sun Orion. Dawn, yep, I was a child when I was told that. Okay. Pumpkin Puff, yes, you sound much better. I'm glad you're healing quickly. Thank you. Red Sun Orion, to pray is not to ask for anything. It is to set a commitment to be the version of ourselves that belongs to the same reality as those things. So it depends. Praying is just a word. So there are many, many different definitions. For you is that, for other people is other things. But I appreciate your definition. So let me read it again. To pray is not to ask for anything. It is to set a commitment to be the version of ourselves that belongs to the same reality of those things. Okay, fair enough. Genji, thank you, Didi. I appreciate your kind words. I will put that in my notes as well. Okay, thank you, Genji. Drama Queen, you're amazing. Thanks for everything. Thank you, Drama Queen. Kevin, respond rather than react. So, okay, so this is interesting comment, and I need to talk about it. It's true that we want to respond instead of reacting, but what we need to realize is that people who react don't have the choice yet. They don't choose to react. No one chooses to react. Reactions are emotions. Reactions are subconscious. They're automatic, they're super fast, they just happen. That's why they're called reactions. We don't choose reactions. A response is something that we can choose from here. A reaction is something that's happening from our body, nervous system. And so what it means is that for some of us, if we have not worked on ourselves yet, if we still have traumas and baggage, we cannot but react. If we react, if we get triggered, if we get offended, it's not because we're weak, it's not because we're lesser, it's not because we're inferior. It's because our brain is not able to do that yet. And for some of us, it may be very difficult to do. A trauma brain is very different from a neurotypical brain. And this is why I need to say this now. I understand where you're coming from. It is true that if we can, we should respond. But we need to realize that if you can respond instead of reacting, it means that you have the choice. You have the choice. Other people's don't. If we react, there's nothing we can do at the moment. If you have BPD, if you have CPTSD, if you have anything, suffer from anxiety, stress, depression, overwhelm, we will react, and there's nothing we can do against that in that moment. The work is to learn how to be able to disarm our triggers so that we can create more space between the reactions and ourselves over time. But it's a work, it's something that we need to be aware of, right? That's why it's so important, because I hear that all the time. You should choose to respond instead of reacting. And it's very, I know you don't come from that place. A lot of people don't realize that it comes across as very self-righteous and also ableist. People don't realize that for so many of us, we cannot I've reacted all my life, and I hated it. I hated each moment. I destroyed every single relationship. I was mean. I was nasty. I was petty. I was horrible to people for 38 years of my life. And I hated myself. But there's nothing I could do about it. Nothing. Because it was my program. When I worked on that afterwards, I was able to change this. In the moment, we can't change our program. We can work on it before or after, but not during. And so again, reactions, they are our program. And we shouldn't be judging people because of their reactions. And I know, again, I'm not saying that you are saying this. I'm just highlighting this because it's something that I think about often, and I see a lot on social media. But we don't choose. If we can choose response over action, it means that we're able to. It doesn't mean that we are better, that we are more stoic, that we are more in control of ourselves. It only means that we have less trauma. It only means that we have less baggage. It only means that we have a brain that is not neurodivergent. If your brain has developed differently, like structurally, the part of the brain that is in charge of regulating our emotions and seeing things in perspective is not as active as the part of the brain that is overreacting and processing emotions and fear. I hope it makes sense. Does it, Kevin? I appreciate your input because it gives me a chance to talk about this. And I'm sure that I know that you don't come from that perspective, but it's got to be said because for me, it's one of the pillars of my own conversation as far as mental health is concerned. Is to raise awareness for people to understand that we are all doing our best. We should stop judging others because a lot of us will say, yeah, but I had depression and anxiety and yet I could do this. You're weak. No, we're all different. Maybe you could do that. Because you could do something doesn't mean that everyone can. Because you have experienced this, it doesn't mean that this is all that there is about that condition. Again, we're all vastly different. Anyway, thank you, Kevin, nevertheless, for your intervention. And I understand where you're coming from. Genji, I have been going on walks. I get to be one with nature for a bit, and I feel the most free during those times. Fantastic. So think about that. Think about your power to be able to do this whenever you feel like it. Think about that connection. Think about your ability to feel good and connected with nature. You have this. It's a power that you have. You're being reminded of that power that you have. It's amazing. Life is amazing. Your life is great. You have this. Some people, they want to do this, but they live in Gaza. They can't do this. There's no trees. There's no rubbers. Think about that. You are very lucky compared to others, right? Remember the coin. Friesner, Didi, your microphone is not on. Is it? Again. Oh no. When you stand close to the camera, your voice is clear, but when you back off the camera, your sound goes low. Okay, so again, the mic is not working again. Guys, could you confirm this? I'm going to talk closer to the phone. I'm going to talk closer to the phone. Does my voice go louder as I get closer? Or is it still the same regardless of where I am in regards to the phone? Could you confirm this for me, please? If it's like that, I will unplug it. It means that the mic is no longer working for whatever reason, which is weird because I've created a lot of recording with the mic, and it seemed to have worked. So I don't understand. So guys, could you confirm the situation of the mic, please? Pumpkin Puff, I think we spoke about this before. I am wondering if I'm narcissist again. I've been very overwhelmed recently, and I've been a jerk to my husband, even when I move and have time to myself. No, you're not narcissist. You have narcissistic traits. You have narcissistic tendencies. We all do. If you have BPD, you do have that as well. But you are not a narcissist. That's different. I used to doubt myself. I used to think also maybe I was narcissist because I would control and manipulate people. And I would hate that as well. But I would do this because I would be overwhelmed with the fear of abandonment, the fear of not being seen or loved. And so, yeah, if you want to tell me what makes you think that, the reason why I know that you don't, the reason why I doubt that you have narcissism It's because of the way you express yourself. You feel sorry about yourself. If you're a narcissist, you wouldn't. You would think it's their fault. It's because of them. They're bad. I'm good. But for the fact that you know that sometimes you say, oh, I fucked up, or I feel bad. A narcissist doesn't feel like that. A narcissist is always projecting their shame onto others. It's because of them. It's their fault. Nothing to do with me. That's the difference. Kevin, I get you. Okay, thank you. Pumpkin Puff, I hear you just fine. All right, okay. So it's fine then. I need to take into consideration there are also trolls at times. So maybe that person was trolling me, which is fair enough. It got me if that's the case. But if not, I don't know. So my question was, can you hear me well? Regardless. And Pumpkin Puff, I hear you just fine. So it sounds all right. Frisner, yes. Yes to what, Frisner? You're the one who investigated that. Can you hear me the same when I'm here and when I'm there? Kevin, I can hear you just fine. Okay, fantastic. So it's working. Frisner, you naughty one. Frisner, your voice goes stronger when you stand close to the camera. Everyone seems to be disagreeing on that. So I'm going to stand with the majority because I know them. I know that they're my friends. I know that they're not trolls. I don't know you yet. You could be a troll. You could be someone who comes from a good place. But I'm going to trust people that I know. Genji, that is a great point. I forget that I'm lucky just to be able to walk outside. Yes, absolutely. Frisno, I promise you, Didi, I'm not trolling you. I promise you, Didi, look back later. Okay, I will look back later if I have the chance. But I'm taking into consideration everyone else. Everyone is telling me about it. Okay, so I don't know. But I will listen to it. Okay, if I have the time. Kevin, when worked up, work self down. Let me try to understand. When worked up, work self down. I don't understand. What does being worked up means? I don't even know that. Again, English is not my first language. So let me find out. To be worked up, meaning to be worked up means to be extremely upset. Agitated, angry, or excited about something. It usually describes someone who is emotionally overloaded or anxious about a situation, often overreacting or holding onto an intense feeling. Okay, I get it. So worked up, I didn't know that. Thank you for teaching me a word. When worked up, work self down. Okay. When you are overwhelmed with emotion, slow down, something like that. Yes, I get it. I agree. Pumpkin Puff, we can still hear you, but it's hard to tell if your mic is working. Can you just hear me? You know, if there's no interruption in the flow of auditory processing, then sure, that's good enough for me. Kevin, missed off. I don't know what it means, missed off. Kelly Stevens, I can hear you fine. Okay, fantastic. Cash. Thank you, guys. I think Frisner was being naughty. But it's okay, it's fine enough. No harm done. It keeps the flow going. Different energies. Pumpkin Puff. Sometimes I think I did nothing wrong, but then I get frustrated and I become a bit of a bully, I guess. So remember what we said to Genji about the different minds. Or was it for you? I'm confused now. You have different parts of you taking over each moment. So sometimes the part of you that thinks that you did nothing wrong will come up and make you think that thought. And some other time, the part of you that gets frustrated, that is the bullish part of you, will take over that moment and make you feel different. That's it. Use all of those situations to notice all of those parts within you. Use this as an exercise every day. Which part of me is in control in that moment? Is it the kind or the nasty part of me? Is it the positive or the negative part of me? And so on and so forth. Kevin, cool, love you, dude. Well, thank you so much, Kevin. Pumpkin Puff. My husband was telling me it was a bit hard for him to share his feeling with me. Okay. So dot 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 dot. Pumpkin Puff. Oh, I don't think I was here yet. All right, okay. Okay. So you heard what I said. Can you understand what? Did you understand what I said? Friesner, message retracted. Who are you, Friesner? Pumpkin Puff, here, not here. Friesner, I promise you I'm not no TDD. Just check later and I will see what I said. It's all right, no worries, no worries. No big deal anyway. Just because I don't know you, your name is new. I'm creating this space to help people. So please make sure to be kind and respectful because yeah, it's going to be a safe space for everyone. But you know, nothing, no harm has been done. If that's what your experience, it's fair enough, and I will probably check it. Okay, let's move on. Friesner, is there anything you would like to ask me about yourself? How about that? Is there anything you'd like to discuss in regards to psychology, mental health? Instead of talking about the mic. Pumpkin Puff. Yes, I think I get what you're saying. Don't stay on a thought that is bad. It's not that. It's that if you have a thought that is bad, instead of thinking, what's wrong with me? Why am I thinking that? Tell yourself, it is the pessimist part of me that has hijacked that moment. And I'm going to allow for the positive, optimistic version of myself to take over the next moment. Friesner, I was one of your first subscribers, Didi. For around 2 years ago, I'm just listening and learning. Okay, thank you, Friesner. I appreciate that. And yes, again, if you want to ask me anything, I'd love to address you, Friesner, if you feel like it. Kevin, what you think of behaviorism? Behaviorism in psychology. Behaviorism is a learning theory in psychology focusing on objectively observable behaviors, asserting that all actions are learned from the environment through conditioning. Yes, okay. It largely ignores internal mental processes, viewing them as unobservable. Okay. And uses scientific method to study stimulus-response links. Key mechanisms include classical conditioning, association, and operant conditioning, reward/punishment. Core assumptions. Okay, it's just a system that some people use to understand the nature of psychology. I believe that we are more than what we can observe. And even, I mean, it doesn't mean much to me because whatever we observe is still using systems and data based on some understanding of the mind. I think this is just semantic. The way I use my words is to try to bring something useful to people. And I'm not sure that that conversation would be useful to anyone. And that's why, even trying to process this, my brain is like, why? So behaviorism is a learning theory in psychology, and I can see the benefit of that. And I can see that, in fact, that could apply to everything, as in, whatever we understand is always born from some sort of observation. And so that could be the premises of everything about science anyway. So it's just about semantic, right? So unless I'm talking to someone who is a psychologist, who is a scientist, and they want to know precisely those protocols are better than another, I don't believe that there's much need to, I don't believe that there's much use to talk about this. I don't understand. What would you like to know about this? If you can ask me a question about behaviorism, that would actually be much more helpful to me. Just asking me what you think about it, I don't think about much. A lot of things I have no opinions about because they don't matter. I don't find them interesting, or maybe not yet. I don't see the impact in my reality at this point in time. So that's why I don't really have much opinion. But if you can tell me what do you think of behaviorism in regards to that, now I've got something to work on. Kevin. or context, maybe. Aho, not funny. Hi. Pumpkin puff. Oh, okay. Can I do that when I'm feeling bad, or do I need to regulate first? You need to regulate, because when you are not regulated, in that moment, the part of you that is freaking out has taken over. And that part of you is a very intense version of yourself. So that version of yourself wants you to stay on a survival mode. So it will not allow for any other part of you to take control. So you need to snap out of that state. Yes. Good point. Thank you. Self-regulation, always. Frisner, heart emoji, thumb up. Thank you. Pumpkin puff. My husband sometimes mentions that I'm listening to a bad thought, or maybe I'm too far gone and I get really triggered at that. Okay. So, what do you want me to do about this? What do you want me to address? The fact that your husband is saying things that hurt you, or the fact that you are taking personally some of the things that your husband says? What is the problem about this? All I want to try to understand is what is problematic about this. Because there are many ways to approach this. You could think to yourself, whatever my husband says doesn't matter. That will fix the problem. Or my husband says a lot of things, but he never means any of those things. That's the way he speaks. It is not meant to hurt me. So that would fix the problem. Do you want him to not say those things anymore? I think that's what you want, right? But we can't change people. You can guide them. You can tell them, you know what? I don't like it when you do that. And you can come to some sort of in-between space for the two of you. Because this is what relationships are about. It's about coming to a place of consensus somewhere in the middle, right? But you need to realize that it takes always two things. There's something happening, and then there's also our interpretation of that thing. So there are two elements. You can address both in some capacity. You can direct in some capacity what your husband is going to say to you by telling him, but also the main thing that you can really change is how you're going to interpret that. You want to address why it's triggering you, because everything that we observe, we only experience our interpretation of it. Again, there's no such thing as one reality. So when we are going through a situation, we're only experiencing our interpretation of that event. Just 1 second, please. Sirens living in central London. Okay. Where was I? My husband sometimes mentions that I'm listening to a bad thought. Maybe I'm too far gone. Get a triggered on that. Okay. So what you want to do is to realize in that moment, I'm triggered. Feel the triggering, because that's your program. But then regulate. And then tell yourself, oh, why did I get triggered? What does that mean to me? What is my interpretation of that? And so we can work on that. So when your husband says, you are too far gone, correct me if I'm wrong, but does it mean to you, you're losing control, there's something wrong about you, you are weak, or whatever? This is probably what you feel and why you get triggered. Because your mind has interpreted what he said as such. Or something else, something similar. And so it's for you to ask yourself, does what he says really means what I think he says? Or could it mean something else? And what you want to do is to explore all the different reasons as to why he may have said that, and change the interpretation of it. When he said that, it doesn't mean that he's not listening to me. It doesn't mean that I'm not important to him. It doesn't mean that I don't matter. It means that he wants to say this because of blah, 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 X, Y, Z. Because for him, it means something else. Does it help, Pumpkin Puff? Dawn, heart emoji, Kevin, B.F. Skinner in the US. I don't know who is B.F. Skinner. B.F. American psychologist. Okay. So yes, so he's a psychologist and he utilizes this. What would you like to know about this yourself? How is it useful to you? That's what I want to know, please. Sargon. Oh, hello, Sargon. Pumpkin Puff. Just bear with, please. A lot of silence today. So again, I'm doing this myself. I'm changing the meaning. My first reaction, because of my CPTSD and ADHD, is reaction. I couldn't think straight. And so my first interpretation is going to be, why is the world so noisy? It's trying to interrupt my thought on purpose. I hate you, sirens. I hate you, ambulance. I hate you, helicopters. That's the first meaning that I give. But then, for me to come back to peace ASAP, I'm going to change this. And you know what? It's not there to hurt me. It's not there to annoy me. It's not there to prevent me from thinking and talking to people on my live stream. It's there because an ambulance is trying to save someone's life. It's there because there's a bike who's trying to deliver some food to someone who's ordered a pizza or whatever. It's got nothing to do with me. And if anything, because I live in London, I'm going to think there are people helping others. So I'm turning it into a positive. So now I'm like, okay, it's noisy, but I appreciate you guys. Thank you for doing what you're doing. It's a good thing. As opposed to sticking to my first old interpretation, as in, why is the world trying to ruin my happiness? Pumpkin Puff. It doesn't mean harm, as you know. I just don't like the wording, and sometimes it's hard for me to admit that I'm triggered and being the jerk. Okay, so now on to something else. So you know that he can be clumsy with his words. It doesn't mean that. But you say to yourself, it's hard for me to admit that I'm triggered and being the jerk. So that in that moment, tell yourself, you know what? I'm triggered. I am the jerk. However, do it better. Don't tell yourself I'm the jerk. Tell yourself I'm triggered. Again, we said many times, because of my program, because of my trauma, because of my wounds, because of my baggage. I didn't choose this. It's not my fault. But I'm triggered because of that. And because of that, is getting a version of me that is not kind to come over and take over that moment. The nasty version of myself that was always there to protect me is taking over and now saying horrible things at him. So tell yourself, again, I reacted like that because of the things that happened to me, but also that version of me that took over, the nasty version of me, I need to understand that version of me. That version of me is not horrible as a bad entity within me. It is horrible because it is function, and it's doing it because it wants to protect you. It thinks that it's the best thing that it should be doing to keep you safe by fighting back, by biting back, by barking back. So if you can realize this, now you can tell yourself, it's okay, now I understand, I get this. It's not me, and the part of me is not bad even, it's there to try to do this, but I want to change this. So now I'm going to acknowledge all of this, let all the emotion flow and go, and then eventually come back to a state of mental clarity and tell myself, you know what, let's be kind to myself. And then be kind to your husband. And hopefully he will be kind back at you right after. Pumpkin Puff. I think I just turned into my father, but I really don't want that to be the case. Maybe you have, but it was only for a moment. You can always change. You can turn into your grandma. You can turn into your favorite hero. You can turn into whatever what you want. It's just a matter of repetition. So at the moment, there are many elements of your dad that you have observed that are still present in you. But as you change, you can choose to be whatever you want. Again, everything about you is just a habit. You can become whoever you want to become over time. Genji, I recommend meditating with a candle flame. It's a quiet way to sit with your feelings and regulate. It's a great thing to do. Yes, I love that. I don't have any candles at the moment, but meditating with your eyes open on the candle is a fantastic thing to do. If you have a chimney fireplace in winter time, fantastic as well. Fire is very fascinating. It's very engrossing. So yeah, absolutely. J Nackname said hi. Hello. Pumpkin Puff. Exactly what you said. I feel triggered because to me it feels like he's belittling me. Yes. So it's not to you. It's to the version of you that is insecure. The version of you that is insecure is going to be triggered. And when that version of you is triggered, what you want to tell that version of yourself is, it's okay to feel like that. You're there because you exist for a reason. But now I want you to see through, and realize he's not belittling you. He's not belittling us. He's just doing his things. Allow for different version of you to take over the next moment. You see what you say? I feel triggered because to me it feels like he's belittling me. In that moment, you don't believe that he's belittling you. In that moment, there's a different version of you that is seeing that event, that is interpreting it in a different light. It's seeing that it's got nothing to do with you. That version of you is the version of you that you want to bring back often in those moments. It's there, it's in you. They all exist within you all the time. Hon, not funny. Hey Didi, I was thinking about separating myself from my family after realizing they're abusive, not physically, but I feel guilty. I don't hate them, and I know it will affect our relationship. To be continued. Second part. But I'm tired of being in the middle of trauma and emotional abuse. I'm very young, and I just want to ask you how I could live on good terms, even if I know they will disapprove. You can say, for now, nothing is definite. When you say goodbye, doesn't mean I'm going to say goodbye forever. You can say, you know what, I need a break from you guys. I need a space between you and me because it's too much on my mental health. If they care about you, if they love you, if they care about your feelings, they will respect that. If they don't, they're toxic to you. They may not mean that. They may be overwhelmed with their own hurt, but they're toxic to you because they don't care about how you feel. And so that'll be even more of a reason for you to take a break for now from them. Just tell them, I love you guys, but it's too much for me. I want to help, but at this point in time, I need to save myself first. I'm losing it. So I need to create a space between you and me for a little while. And we can check up on each other every now and then and see how things goes. But at this point in time, I really need this. Please, let me do this. And if they scream at you and they say, oh, how dare you do this after everything we've done for you, now they're showing their toxicity to you. And again, they may not want or mean it, but they're still being toxic to you. So you have to choose what matters most, my family's happiness or my happiness. The answer is very simple. It's always going to be your happiness. Your happiness comes first, no matter what, because we can only give what we own. So even if you care about your family and you want to give them something, you have to give yourself that love and that care first. You can't pour from an empty cup. Genji, you did a very good job regulating yourself with the sirens and other sounds. All right? Yes, thank you. Thank you. If you knew me in the past, I would literally shout and get angry and break things on the wall, like because of the ADHD rage. And that could last for a long time. And you could see my face red, some dribbling, foaming coming out of my mouth. I will become that dude, the Incredible Hulk, because of the pigeons, because of the dogs in the park, because of the bloody kids laughing and playing. How dare they? So often I think to myself, I'm so glad that I was not a father. I would have been insufferable. I would have learned, but there would have been a phase where things would have been very, very difficult for everyone. And I think it's better for no one to ever express those sort of things, if possible. Thank you, Genji. Kevin, I studied his method when I got my bachelor's degrees. Okay, interesting. Okay. So what do you think about this? And how do you define it anyway? Because behaviorism is everything that is to do with observation. But in reality, everything is about observation. What else but observation? Whatever technique that we have is the result of someone else's observation through time, through their own experiences and research, right? So what does that mean, even? Pumpkin Puff, that wasn't my intention, is what he says. So I know he just didn't think that far ahead that it could be seen as true. So you know it. So remind yourself every time. Bring back that version of you that knows this. It's not his fault. He just talks a lot of words, and sometimes he doesn't even understand what they mean. My husband does this all the time. Again, he's on autism spectrum. And so there can be a lot of confusion. There's been a lot of fight out of nothing in the past because of the discrepancy between how we use words. and also how we use them, as in the way we say them, within which sentence. Pumpkin puff, rude. Pumpkin puff, okay, I can work on doing that. Okay. Pumpkin puff, that's very true. I don't have to hate myself for reacting, but I need to also be mindful of it after. Pumpkin puff, I need to accept myself, but also focus on growth, question mark. Try not to fall back into the habits. Yes, accept that you are what you are, accept that you are doing your best. It's not opposite to growth. Acceptance is growth, because you don't accept yourself. So if you can accept yourself, it's a big part, a huge part, a fundamental part of your healing process and your growth process. If you don't accept yourself, you have not healed, you have not grown. Acceptance is the pillar of healing and growth. I just need to blow my nose off. Just bear with me, please. Again, I just realized the mic is under my nose. I apologize for the explosion. Okay, I'm back. Red Sun Orion, where are you from? What tradition do you follow? I don't follow traditions. I am against traditions. I believe in openness. I believe in growth. I believe in flow. I believe in inspiration. I believe in new ideas. I believe in a new world. This is what I believe in. I believe in everything. I accept everyone's traditions and systems and principles and religions. And I find all of those things very fascinating and interesting. But I don't follow any. I don't have a label from anything at all. I appreciate a lot of things, but the most important aspect of life for me is the aspect of constant evolution, constant change, constant growth. So everything comes from somewhere. But tradition to me means holding back into the other ways. For me, I don't believe in that. I believe that tradition comes from fear, the fear of the unknown, the fear of growth, the fear of expansion, the fear of uncertainty and unpredictability. But life was always about evolution and growth, and so I don't have traditions. Um, Again, I appreciate if I travel, I go to different places, I will appreciate people's traditions. I respect people's values, I respect people's belief, but I don't have traditions, and I'm against personally in my own philosophy of life. I am against traditions. Every day is a new exploration, and if I have to change everything that I believe about myself and the world and reality, I will change it. I've got no quarrel with that because I understand that this is the nature of everything. Everything in the universe is about evolution, exploration, growth, change, change, change all the time. And tradition is the fear of change. Is that what you meant or something else? But I appreciate people's traditions. Again, you know, if I travel, if I go to different communities, I will respect the traditions. It's okay. Everyone is different. Some people, most people, we need to have some traditions, as in we need to have some track records so that we have an idea, an illusion of control. If we keep doing the same things, the same outcomes will come out of it. And now we're safe. We understand the world, we understand life. But I don't believe in that personally. I believe that we're always supported by the universe anyway. So whatever what we do, as long as we are following what we know so far in terms of rational intelligence and following our intuition, then we are going in the right direction. I'm not sure that's what you wanted to hear from me, but what do you think about this Red Sun Orion? George Migas said hi. Hello, George. Kevin, stimulus, response, reinforcement. Okay. Genji, I completely understand what you're saying. I've experienced that and still do from time to time. A constant, loud environment. So yeah, so that many of us have was in different ways. For me, um, anything that can take my mind off thinking makes me angry. Uh, and again, ADHD, CPTSD. I find it difficult to remember things. I forget things all the time. I really need to have a system. When I go to the gym, every single time I have a ritual. First, I need to go when it's quiet. I can't go when it's busy. When it's busy and there's a lot of people in the changing rooms, I never know if I put my keys, my phone, my bag. I can't because there's just too many things happening. So I go when it's quiet. And when it's quiet, even then, I need to tell myself, I put my stuff and I'm like, okay, do I have my phone? Do I have my keys? Do I have my music? Do I have my watch? Do I have my earmuff? Do I have my belt? Do I have my water? Do I have my chalk? Do I have my padlock? Do I have my bag on me? Do I have my shoes, training shoes? Do I have my towel and all my clothes? And then I check my locker. Let's scan. And I tell myself, I'm scanning the locker, empty, 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 empty. And then I scan the bench where I was. I'm scanning, bam, empty, empty. And now I'm ready to go without thinking, what if? Because if I don't do that, there will still be a moment, even if it's 10 minutes down the road, I don't know if I have it in my bag. I don't know if, because ADHD, because CPTSD. So the systems, the systems, if I'm stressed out or tired, it will be harder. If I'm at peace, it's easier. But I still do this as a routine just in case, because all my life I lost things, I dropped things, I forgot things, because this is the way my brain is. So we need to find ways to support how we function, to avoid those things happening, and this is my system. Yeah, so that was in regards to noise. As soon as there are people, movement, noise, people talking, that takes my mind away. The moment there are people entering the changing rooms, and the gym that I use is a very cheap gym, but it's open 24/7, it's close to home. So that's why I like it. But because of that, there's a lot of students, and a lot of students from overseas, and they're all very loud. And as soon as they get in, the first thing I do is to put my earmuff on. I can't. It's not because it's because I know that they will overwhelm me. It will make it much much harder on me. Kevin, similar to Pavlov dogs. Okay, I get it. I get it. I get it. But when it comes to psychology, there's so much more. If you talk about the Pavlov dog experiment, as in observing how we react, this is not enough. This is not enough because there's so much more to this than that. If you study psychology, you would know that at some point. You are so much more than just. There's so many different reasons as to why it may happen. There's so many things that could be attached to that. There's so many parameters. Yeah, that will be an oversimplification of things. If we just limited our understanding of the mind to behaviorism. Who are you? Hello, Didi. I hope you are doing well. I'm well. Thank you so much. How about you? Okay. Yes, labels are so opinionated. They're very narrow and limiting indeed. Pumpkin Puff. Maybe that guy was right about the mic because that was pretty quiet. So, prisoner, maybe you're right, and so I should apologize if that's the case. um, is it better when I'm closer to the phone, or is it the same, or lesser? If you can tell me that, please. Gosh, Red Sun Orion. My parents were both addicts. Okay. I chose to never ever have any drugs or alcohol or smoking. I've lived my life choosing zero substances. I'm happy with that choice. Good on you. Good on you. Who are you? I don't have much time today, but a very dear friend confessed having had suicidal thoughts today for the first time in a very long time. He doesn't talk much about what's in his head, but he just ... Pumpkin Puff. I'm tried to fully understand everything that I am working on, but I need to be more mindful on a day to day. Okay, you're doing fine. Don't feel that you're not doing enough. Whatever that you're doing is what you can do, and it's always enough. Who are you? Studied therapy, and very old trauma is coming up. That's the only thing he said about what's in his head. How can I support him best? He also said if he goes through with it, ... Red Sun Orion, I was asking about your tradition, base, New Age, Jungian, cognitive, etc. Tradition in regards to the sort of things that I believe, the things that I use for mental health. I don't have a tradition. I pick bits and bobs from things that I believe work or not. So there's stuff that may exist within a specific protocol that I may not even know. But I'm developing some sort of psychological common sense, if you wish. So there is my understanding of life as a human being, having been through all the things I've been through myself all my life and coming out of it. But also what I've been learning as a therapist since I started in 2017, and my obsession about the human mind, um, reading tons of stuff about it all the time. So based on that, I have a lot of information, and I don't associate myself with the school of thought. I just pick up stuff that adds up to the big puzzle of my own system in my mind, right? And so there's elements of Jungian and cognitive. When you say New Age, what you mean is Buddhism and Taoism, right? Because New Age was no more or less than people trying to bring the Eastern philosophies to the West. That's what New Age is about, isn't it? And so, yes, I'm huge on Buddhism. I'm huge on Taoism. I accept and appreciate a lot of what Carl Jung said and promoted. And cognitive is no more or less than understanding some basics of psychology. So yes, to this, but I don't follow any specific protocol. Um, I don't believe that I don't need any specific label to do my things. Some people are specialized in some protocols. They learn it from some people, and they have a diploma, and they need to promote that system. I don't. I really explore and expand my understanding of the mind every day, all the time. I'm obsessed with that. And whatever that I learn adds up into what I know already. Um, that creates my own system as to how to understand the human mind and how to heal it. Does it answer your question, Red Sun Orion? Who are you? He would do it properly so it works. First try successfully. So in regards to your friend, just be there for him or them. I don't know if it's a him or her. I'm going to say him for now, but correct me if I'm wrong. Them. Just be there for them. And pay attention and do your best. That's it. If they seek help, if they're asking you for help, give them help. If they don't ask you for help, don't push help in their face. Just be there. Just tell them if you need me, check on them, call them, let them know, send them some messages. How are you doing today, buddy? I was thinking about you. Do you feel up for a chat? Do you want to go for lunch together, walk in a park? Do you want to send me, do you want tell me what you've done today? Have you done anything fun? Have you had any positive thoughts? Those sort of things, you know. And make sure that if you send messages, let me know if you like it. There's no pressure, it's up to you. I just wanted to show you that I'm thinking about you. I just wanted to show you that I care about your feelings. There's someone there for you. For me, what you feel matters. What you think matters. What you go through matters. So if you can share some of those things with me, I will be honored. If not, it's okay. I understand that you may be overwhelmed and it's not a problem. But I just want to make sure that I tried. So that's what you can do. Right? Genji, sounds like you have a great system. All right, thank you. Chiki, hello, how's your day? How do you deal with bad sleep? Bad sleep is a big conversation, and I just realized it's 8 o'clock. So we'll talk about it next time. Bad sleep can be, there are tons of reasons as to why we may struggle with sleep. And I would love to talk about it Friday if you can make it. I come live on YouTube every Wednesdays and every Fridays from 6 o'clock up till 8 o'clock in the evening, UK time. And I just realized it's already 9 past 8. And so I'm going to finish, I'm going to read all the comments, but I'm not going to start a new conversation, especially not one that is so big and open as sleep. However, if you want to come back on Friday or next week, Wednesday or Friday, and ask me again, I would love to talk about it, right? But we need to have some time. So try your best, if you can, to come at the start of the live stream. 6 o'clock would be best. But before Jiki. So please subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. And hopefully we can pursue that conversation together then. Jiki, I kind of experienced something creepy, okay? K. Stevens, do you believe that people who are traumatized can cause brain damage to a person that have access to who isn't educated about stress? Yes. And we can talk about it next time. Chiki, no, Genji, I appreciated our chat today. Thank you so much for your advice. I wish you a good evening, my friend. Thank you so much, Genji. Same back at you. Kevin, thanks, Didi. Thank you, Kevin. Pumpkin Puff, thank you, Didi. I hope you have a good evening and continue to heal quickly. Thank you so much. And I'm sure I will. Who are you? Thank you so much, Didi. I've been telling him I'm here for him regularly, but he struggles opening up. He doesn't need, so this is the thing. He's struggling opening up. You are struggling not accepting not accepting him. Accept that he may not be able to open up, and it's okay. This is what you need to do. Accept him. Don't expect him. He's not struggling to open up. He's just doing his best, and it's okay. Just accept that whatever he can say or not is all right, and just show him that you care for him. And it doesn't matter. He doesn't have to say anything. Whatever he can, if he can say something, is good, and if he cannot, it's also good. Because there are many ways we can express ourselves, and words is only one of them. Okay? Who are you? But it sounds like I have been doing everything right. Yes, fantastic, fantastic. Thank you so much, Who are you? I wish you a lovely evening. That sounds great. Guys, I love you all. Take care, look after yourself. Remember to be kind to others if you can, but at least be kind to yourself if you can't. Also, you can find me on TikTok. You can find me on YouTube already. Subscribe if you haven't yet. I come live every Wednesdays and every Fridays, again, from 6 o'clock UK time. And if you need more details about me as a therapist and coach, there should be a link on my bio to my website. Okay. Other than that, I'm going to say goodbye. I wish you a great day and night, and hopefully I see some of you Friday. K. Stevens, bye Didi. Thank you again. Very fantastic. Thank you guys. Love you all. Bye bye for now.